What I wish I knew before joining a franchise? It's never just about the shiny brochures. It's about the real stories, the stuff nobody tells you. This is Franchise Scoop Inspected and Approved, where we pull back the curtain on franchise brands. We cut through the sales pitch, grill the insiders, and call out the red flags, so you get the raw, unfiltered truth. Franchisee, franchisor, or just franchise curious? Hit that subscribe button. Smart franchising starts here. Let's get into it.
What's going on, y'all? Good morning and welcome to Franchise Scoop and Inspected. I'm your host, DJ Flores, and with me, my trusted sidekick here, Julie Harrell, president of Cooper Scoopers. And I'm in the hot seat today, I guess, right? So you take the lead from here, Julie.
Hello, everyone. It is Tuesday. It's a beautiful week. I don't know if anyone's on the East Coast, but apparently we're, maybe preparing for a hurricane over here.
That's what I hear. I'm in Ohio right now, so you all might notice the background's a little bit different. I'm in Ohio, visiting with a franchisee and double duty with some family time. But yeah, that's what I hear. You guys, what is going on over there?
I don't know. It's a hurricane.
Yeah.
I mean, I've lived here my whole life.
Is it coming or not coming?
Yeah, who knows? That's the beauty of being a meteorologist, right? Like, I would really can we get a meteorologist on here and just be like, okay, so what happens if you're wrong? Like, you don't get fired because you can't control the weather.
It's the greatest job. It's the greatest job ever. You literally, they're at least probably wrong 50% of the time, and still nothing happens.
Yeah. Sorry, they're out of my control. DJ, so excited to talk with you today. So president of Inspection Boys.
Yeah.
I want to pick apart the entire process for franchisees at Inspection Boys, but also for customers, and especially in the wild environment of real estate in general, and where we are now, kind of where, this business has been the last 5 years. And then what is the next 5 years? I mean, 5 years ago, you couldn't find an inspector for 30, 45 days because the market was on fire.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's and I'm glad you touched on that, because that's really the first kind of key to this industry. Is it's market driven. I mean, real estate is driven by the market, and realtors know that, and inspectors. That's the one thing I kind of learned really quick getting into this industry and this brand was realtors and home inspectors go hand in hand in this world. And so realtors, there's your part-time realtors that come in, like what you're talking about, when the market's hot, and they're coming in just taking advantage of really the market itself. But then there's those full-time realtors who are in the game, whether it's really tough like it is right now, and I feel for y'all, or whether it's booming. And home inspectors are the same. So I think very similar to what John dealt with in the tax franchise world. There's a lot of mom and pops in the home inspection game. There's over 40,000 listed home inspectors in the United States. Now, only 1,500 of those are actual franchise brands. That only 1,500 of those make up the actual franchise brands. So it's a lot of mom and pops. But over 6 million, regardless of the market itself, over 6 million houses are sold on average every year.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we're, there's a lot of people in this world, and, we're a family of 4 right now. We're living in a 4-bedroom house, and I'm so grateful for it. But sometimes we're also not necessarily more space, but a different layout. My husband actually grew up in the home that we live in. And so he always says he doesn't want to die here. And I was like, I can't really blame you. So yeah, I mean, there's all life circumstances. Our area specifically, huge turnover because of our massive military base here in Hampton Roads. But let's go back, I don't know, 10 years, because you're only 25, right? And so let's go back to, how did you get into franchising in the first place?
Thanks. So thank you for that. So I've been, franchising has been, I'll tell you, I didn't realize it I never really connected the dots. It was kind of over my head until being in the freight world. I had last kind of venture before getting into really understanding franchise was my calling, and doing the whole podcasting and really talking about it deeply. Was I was in the freight world, and I started to realize that I love to talk about business and kind of help smaller businesses. And then I really started to connect the dots, and I'm like, well, hold on, that's pretty much prior to starting this freight agency. That's pretty much what we did was helping and working with directly with franchise owners. I mean, little mom and pop franchise owners who were trying to grow their brands. I might have been their first salesperson. I might have been their their first sales manager who then took them to the next level, but didn't really think back until I started doing the podcasting in the freight space. And I'm like, I don't really know freight, but I love business and I love people. But where has what have I been focused on? And then that's really what honed me into. I love the idea of franchising. I've just always, I guess, it's been in me. I love the, talking about, we talked about this last week, I think, on the show, but Roto-Rooter. That's one of the oldest franchises out there. And that's really the testament and the true example of how franchising done right can possibly really continue for a long time, but also how it, again, like I said, the last episode, 50, 60 years ago, when Roto-Rooter is still in existence, it's still kicking, and they're obviously booming then. Um, it's a lot of family. It was my grandpa was a plumber, my dad's a plumber, now I'm a plumber. It's just it was a thing, and to your point of the question of the markets of real estate, I think as a world, as a society, we're kind of going back there. We need those community. I think that's why franchise is booming as a whole. I mean, we see the growth, unbelievable growth of Zoom and Grooming and all of our other brands. I think it's a testament to the time that we need. What I think happened in a nutshell is corporate America, the big brands, the big monsters out there, kind of fell trap to what happened in the movie The Founder with Ray Kroc, finding those rich guys, just have money and move them into a brand, and kind of not follow the system, not have the passion for the brand, its customers. It just they used it as a tool to make money. And I think that's corporate America today. That's the big companies. And what that causes, unfortunately, is a race to the bottom for price because you really can't compete anywhere else. And so price is the thing for most people. And that's where brands like ours, brands like Cooper Scoopers, you're taking a mom and pop niche market and we can add the value, but also add the cost. Now we're going to cost more, but it makes sense to people who really understand because we're bringing more value. We're
Yeah,
not,
so much more value, so much more,
yeah,
potential revenue because of the
yeah,
support and the ability to scale. Um, yeah,
yeah.
I mean, the support is truly unmatched when it comes to a great franchise system.
Unmatched. It can't even be, especially if you're in one like ours that's strategically um, kind of paired together with everything pets, everything home service, and then business. Even the cross marketing opportunities and stuff. It's and that's where I said not all franchising is the same either. And that's kind of the advantage we have, I think, with the loyalty brands.
I think you also need to touch on this incredible like momentum you've had over the last. I mean, okay, so you took this position on
Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. I
Cinco
asked,
de
was
Mayo.
that
Cheers.
was that some sort of is that because I'm Mexican? But yeah, no, I got to take this position. I said so fitting, Cinco de Mayo. But yeah, I stepped into the role May 5th, and the history of the Insurrection Boys. I mean, I'll take it back to the beginning of that. I mean, Matt and Bridget, founded Insurrection Boys out in Long Island, New York, and testament to them. I mean, anybody, please do a quick Google search and Google review. And to all of you franchisees out there, Google reviews are huge, and Matt and Bridget did an amazing job to prove just how much value that brings. I mean, we have 2 locations in New York, one with over 500 reviews with a 4.9
That's
rating,
unheard
one with
of.
over, one with over 700 reviews with a 5-star rating. I mean, it's unbelievable, but it's just because they created this to really, it created the brand to not only be a very low entry, so really anybody can enter this, even if it's on a part-time kind of basis. A pastor, we have one of their first even employees is a state trooper in New York. He's
Wow.
also an inspector. He's a home inspector on the side because cops, just like firemen, military, they always have a side hustle, and that's
Right.
because they do have some flexibility with time in their schedules. And so, yeah, he's been from the beginning. So 2017 is when they started Inspection Boys, and then 2019 they ended up they seen the value in Matt, amazing business mind. I can't wait. We'll eventually have him on here. But shout out to Matt. He's a dreamer like me. So we connected very quickly by that. And he has big visions and big goals, and he goes after it. And I love that. And he had, seen the value right away of franchising and growing what him and Bridget had going out in New York. So they quickly expanded to a local and more regional expansion in the beginning. So we cover a lot of New York up there, especially around the Long Island, Manhattan area. And then I think like most brands out there, again, don't feel bad, y'all. It takes a special skill and a special team to really franchise to the next level, and that's what John obviously and the leadership that we have. I mean, they've done it, and they have the experience in it. And so they paired with John then and partnered with John and Loyalty. I believe it was 2021 was when it was official. Um, and
That's
from there,
incredible.
we really just started laying the groundwork to get it going and go nationals.
Yeah, you're bringing on some awesome franchisees now, even in just the last few months that you've been on. I really want to go back to something that you said specifically about, that customer
Yeah.
service rating that they were able
Mhm.
to acquire for 2 different locations. So 500 to 700 Google reviews, 4.9 to 5. How are you going to ensure that your franchisees are, obviously you got to ask for a Google review, people ask for a Google. If
Right.
you ask for something, people are more likely to give it to you. Sorry.
Especially right after you complete the service and they're happy, they're smiling. Now, don't ask until you know that they're completely satisfied, because you don't want to ask if they're gonna
Right.
catch you off guard with yeah, everything was good,
Yeah.
but obviously is fix the buts, make sure the service is done. But yeah, you got to ask, and I'm glad you asked that. So the advantage we have there is really our tech, and kind of to yours, what you have going on with Cooper Scoopers. We're very tech driven. So I mean, our business is completely paperless. Um, 2 systems run the entire thing, from the home inspection side to the then CRM side. And then Bridget, and she's kind of the mastermind and the amazing side of the operations in the back end. So she has she has a separate company, a marketing company. So we use a lot of her tools um, for the inspection voice as well. So we do have a review kind of system that we offer to all of our franchisees. So, so follow up, even if they forget, AI and computer never will. That's the amazing thing about AI. They don't need breaks. They don't make excuses, and they don't really make too many mistakes. Usually, it's because you didn't ask the right thing. Um, but it's yeah. So using AI and tech really is next level when it comes to that those extra touches, like we talked about with Cooper Scoopers, those touch points. Being able to just know that you didn't you didn't just come to an inspection and leave, but
Right.
you're really following up and making sure everything's okay, even if it's AI and not personally, and then follow up with the personal touches of the gift basket and stuff like that. We have a few differentiators, and I'll kind of mention those with the brand. A few things Bridget and Matt did really smart was our our in the home inspection side, it's very much network driven. Um, I, I I like to say, and I really believe the perfect franchisee. So anybody out there thinking and wanting to get into franchising, if you love networking or you've tried any of the network marketing businesses out there pushing some sort of health product or cleaning product or uh, getting people to sell something as the only way that you can make money, um, come check this out because really we're not pushing any product, we're not pushing any service. Home not over 90% of all of that 6 million homes sold every year in the United States, it requires a home inspection, just due to the type of financing or whatever is involved in that process. Home inspection is just one touch point and one avenue or revenue stream of the business. It's the bread and butter, but then there's the add-ons, radon, mold, sewer scopes, all the extras that you can really take care of the customer. But then also the biggest thing is giving them the peace of mind that most homeowners, if you were lucky enough, fortunate enough to get yourself in the position to be and purchase your own home, it's the biggest investment you'll ever make in your life. So, having that peace of mind when you first buy that hey, for a while we know this is good. Like we didn't make a bad investment. That's where really the value of a home inspector comes in, but also the report, and that's what our systems do. Bridging and Matt, again, testament to them. They, again, and I'll go back a little bit with them and why it even started. So Matt's, again, big dreamer, bought his first. Bridget and Matt both have a huge passion for real estate, and so Matt bought his first rental property in another state. He's in New York, buys his first rental property in PA, only to, like most investors, do the wrong decision of refusing home inspection. Most, unfortunately, investors pay cash, refuse the home inspection because they don't need it, so it's an optional. They think it's an add-on cost that's unnecessary until Matt's seen the value firsthand.
Mm,
Matt bought this house, and everything that could be wrong was wrong. And the only way he was able to fix everything so easily, because he then dealt with the other ugly side of this world, y'all homeowners. That's what we're here to help with too. Is the connection and being that bridge to the other home services like
right.
CR3. We have our partner, American Exteriors. They do all of your exterior needs. And so he dealt with then contractors who said they could do things and they didn't. And so he then ended up having to go there with his dad multiple times to fix
Mm,
what they thought was being fixed. But the only reason he knew what to fix or what needed fixed to begin with was there's two sides of a home inspection too. There's a pre-sale inspection that some very smart realtors will do. So shout out to the realtor who did this. But pre-sale inspection is huge, so you don't get blindsided by after the home inspector. Or if you're trying to get top value for your house, you definitely should be getting a pre-sale inspection because you don't want to have everything set. You got customers ready to buy. They have a home inspection because they're more than likely going to need it, especially if you have a house going for top dollar. And then all of a sudden, the inspector says it needs a roof. There's something with foundation. All of these things, you're like, hold on, I thought I was getting this, and now what?
right. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and you don't want that surprise. So pre-sale inspection is huge. And so thankfully, the realtor that where Matt got his first investment property from did a pre-sale inspection. And so she gave that to him, and that's usually what they're supposed to do. And so she gave that to him after he purchased, and he was able to use that to fix everything. And he said, wow, like not only is this thing valuable, but I actually use this as
Right.
a
I
step by
save time
step
and
to
money.
fix everything that was wrong. And that really sent him then on this track to in the inspection boys. He ended up becoming a licensed inspector, training inspection school for New York, training licensed inspectors for New York, and then voila, him and Bridget, the inspection boys. So yeah, pretty crazy. But again, it really is just a testament to the value of what we do, and what the home inspectors really do.
But there is so you said he went and, was a licensed inspector and had this school, but
Yeah.
to become a franchisee with Inspection Boys, you do not have to have an inspection background.
You do not. You do not at all. No, I mean, you'd be surprised in this industry. Most what it takes
Like
to
you were
be
saying,
a
a state
good,
trooper.
yeah, absolutely, exactly. Most successful franchisees end up coming from a disciplined background, like military, uh, firemen. It's just, and really, here's the thing, where the misconception of this space, it's you believe you need to know everything about a house. You're not there. Um, you're not there to diagnose the problems or fix the problems or even tell them how to fix the problem. You're just there to note that there is something wrong and to seek a reputable contractor to do a further kind of investigation into it and search. So again, it's really just being able to follow a system, which Matt and Bridget have really laid out step by step. That it's, I mean, it's so easy. I really think anybody can do it. But as far as needing to be in the real estate space, needing to understand all the ins and outs of a house, and how to fix things, totally not needed. And to your point, though, yes, to be a home inspector in most states, it really varies. Some states don't require a license. Most states do require a license. So
Yeah.
most of our franchisees, they don't have to get licensed. They can hire licensed inspectors, and if they want to start that way. But a lot of our franchisees end up getting licensed and start doing the inspections themselves, just so they know what their inspectors are dealing with on a day-to-day basis, kind of out there in the field. I think that's just the right thing. I think that's where you get. I think that's where you get a lot of the kind of the battle or the disconnect of ownership or leadership and your employees or your team on the front line. If you've never done it, or if you didn't start from the beginning, you don't really know what they're going through.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a huge plus for everyone to get licensed. But yeah, it's not necessary. But yeah, the licensing and the schooling will definitely teach you everything you need to know. Other than that, it's just making sure you're being thorough and you're respecting that person's home, and you're treating it like your own. You know, but a lot of our successful home inspectors or good home inspectors are just seeing it as if they were inspecting, or especially a parent would know this, but if I'm going and looking at my daughter or one of my kids' first homes that they're buying, I'm going to be, and my dad's done it.
Every corner.
I'm sure every dad has done it. You bought your first house, or you even renting your first house. Your dad's walking and looking at everything and kind of picking it apart. That's what makes a good inspector in the end, is just really knowing that this is somebody's largest investment they'll ever make in their life. So you want to
That
make sure you do it right.
Absolutely. That's a great point. That's something that goes to like building that trust with your customers. And then obviously that has to start from the top down, from you to your franchisees. So how do you kind of is that something that you're looking for when you're talking to franchisees specifically? And how do you coach them if you're like, hey, just a reminder, like this is somebody's, again, biggest investment of their life. Come in like a papa bear or mama bear and say,
Yeah.
this is something that I want to make sure that if this was my family member, that they have a safe space and a safe investment, right? They're not going into a money pit. So how do you coach them if you don't see those traits immediately? How do you coach some of your franchisees?
I'm glad you asked that, because again, then there's going to be pushback from the realtor side, and so it's a very fine line that we as inspectors, and again, it's a judgment call, and you have to know that this person is going to do the right thing. So it is tough, but it's also just knowing your people and really being specific on not only the customer avatar you're looking for, but your inspector and your employee. Knowing and being very picky in your hiring process. And so we're big with that. But then, the Google reviews is really going to be the help and the catch all there. And that's why we use tech, and we're very, very driven, and why obviously the main two locations have so many reviews, and we've done so well there. Is we want to always, on the back end, we're always following up. We're always making sure that our inspectors did, and that not only the realtor was happy, but the customer client was happy who paid for the inspection. And that's where, and that's why I said it's kind of a touchy thing too, because you don't want to be that inspector who goes in and says that everything's the worst and it's going to fall down, because
Then the realtor's like, guess what? I'm not
realtors are
calling
not
next
going to
week.
like you. I'm not using this guy again. So you don't want to be a chicken little. You don't want to say the sky's falling with everything. And so that's where we do a lot of coaching in our initial training in New York. But then also we have weekly calls to help with that customer interaction and interfacing. Because there are things, on every home inspection, there's going to be that front section that is that bright red that scares everyone. And so you have to really, and we teach a lot of that to our franchisees and inspectors of how to handle that and how to really present that. Because there is a right way and a wrong way to present even bad news. And so, yeah, it's really just doing it the right way. But again, in the end, what Matt and Bridget created, they can't really skip or miss anything. So you're just going to have to note it and work your way through presenting it in the best way possible. But yeah, of course, there's sometimes that you have to tell a homeowner, like, I wouldn't buy this. Like, this is not the right, this is bad. But it's really just understanding that, again, we do a lot of that. A lot of our training in New York is kind of that customer interaction,
Right, knowing how to communicate and
approaching those uncomfortable conversations, because again, here's a statistic I didn't know before getting into this space, but that's what makes us, I feel like we're almost our business is almost kind of like the McDonald's business, where I don't know if anybody's seen The Founder, but where that guy at the bank breaks down the business. He's like, you're not in the burger business. You're in the land. You're in the real estate business, like the land business. I think we're in the lead business, really, and the nurturing of a homeowner from kind of infancy of when they buy their first baby, their home, to eventually they're going to need help on where to go and who to trust when they do have those issues come up. Because here's the crazy stat that I had no clue: 50% I think it's, and this is right from Internachi, which is the largest kind of organization for home inspectors. But over 50% of home inspections within 12 to 16, 6 to 12 months end up needing some sort of major repair, roofing, HVAC. It's one of the major repairs. I had no clue that we found that much, or that our reports really kind of set the table for what's to come. So obviously, partnering with a home inspector, us partnering with reputable contractors like CR3, is key, because if you do your job right on the home inspection side, and they really know, like, and trust you when you're done, they're going to come back to you and ask you, hey, who do you know who does this, or who do you know who does that? And that's a scary thing, because referring other companies, other brands, obviously you want to make sure that you vet them. And so that's one thing we really tell our new franchisees when they're coming on as well. One of our differentiators that we do, so we have three key differentiators or added value things we give to our customers that most home inspection companies don't. So we partner with a title company. So all of our franchisees will partner with title to do almost like a soft credit search. There's a soft title search. So again, to catch any of those unknowns before it's, you get to the final, you're ready to sign. Oh, there's a lien that somebody has on this, and there's this, and all these surprises. You're like, hold on, what? And and I've seen so many people get their hearts broken by just those surprises in the end,
right.
of a real estate transaction. And so we try to help them on the front end before they even catch that. So again, it's not a deep dive. You still do need a title uh, company and search, full search, but it is a
Right.
soft search, which is huge. We give them a third generation. So Matt and Bridget are on their third generation of a home maintenance guide that really breaks down the simple things that they can take care of so that they don't have to kind of reach out and pay for all the services out there. And then we do have our franchisees, because a lot of our business and a lot of the start for franchisees, and that's why I said anybody in the network marketing space, reach out because you guys would kill it in this. Um, but it's literally a lot of networking to start, and Bridget is constantly doing a lot of realtor in the real estate space. It's a lot about networking and kind of being out there in the community and really getting tied in to your community. And so we do we offer the customer a preferred vendor list of to handle any of the services. So, Bridget's partnered with in New York a pest control company that offers special pricing and things. Obviously partnered with CR3, partnered with all the other services
Partner
that are
with
needed.
Cooper
And
Scoopers and we'll clean your yard before your inspector comes so they don't have to have shit on their
bingo.
shoes.
Yes. We need a Cooper Scoopers out in New York for that. So if you guys are listening to this,
We
please.
just launched.
But yeah,
We just launched this week, by the way. Long Island. Cooper Scoopers.
did you? Oh, there you go. So we got to get them connected to Bridget. Uh,
Yep.
but yeah, because they're killing it up there. But yeah, and their reputation, I mean, stands on it. If in New York, the inspection boys are the inspection company, that hands down. I mean, you can ask any of the, the realtors in New York. The inspection boys is the inspection company you want to use.
That's amazing. Now, when it comes to technology within the business, what like trends are you seeing or currently or in the next year or so when it comes to like, drones or video capture, like when it comes to those inspections, what does that look like? I am talk to me like a kindergartner. What does that look like
Yeah.
for franchisees at Inspection Boys?
Absolutely. So the great thing is the top, the founders, and then myself. We love tech. So we are, and the advantage is us being a young emerging brand. We can pivot quickly to the crazy world of tech that we're kind of living in now, and it's advancing so fast and so rapidly. And that's again we're implementing it on the marketing side, like you guys with Cooper Scoopers, with the online scheduling and AI, incorporating a lot of that, and you have that in the works. But then also, like you mentioned, drone. We do offer the drone services is an added add-on, but we do offer that for roof inspections. Not all roofs can be walked on or really should be walked on, especially if you don't know the age or really are unsure, because that's it's dangerous. And so yeah, we use drones like you had mentioned for to do roof inspections especially. But what's with tech and what I've seen, which is interesting in the world of this, is they're using a lot of so home warranty companies, especially the big one out there. One of their differentiators is they use augmented reality, basically VR and augmented reality, to almost like they have a system. And so this is something I'm working on to get partnered with somebody like them. They but to offer they have a system that they offer that literally is almost like a. I like to explain it the way I kind of want and envision the Inspection Boys franchise to be for homeowners, is that check engine light. You have a check engine light on your car, which but where's the kind of the check or the to let you know, hey, something's going bad before it gets worse. Um, and that's where these home warranty companies, especially the big one, I forget the name, otherwise I can mention it, but they're using this augmented reality, which I think is just next level. I mean, it's unbelievable. But where they're getting it from, my experience at ADT is a lot of what home security is using. So ADT, along with a lot of the other home security companies, something they offer with their security now is I mean, they have different gadgets that can go on your water sensors and meters so that they know if something's leaking right away before you end up having a huge issue. A lot of different things like that. So it's just using that tech now, and really, it's again in the end, the right home inspection company with we're hoping to pair with a good home warranty company, and you pretty much have like a check engine there for your house.
That's
You have
crazy.
that
That's,
technology.
I mean, cautiously though, utilizing, virtual reality, right? I'm picturing you walking through a house with like the VR goggles on, and then like, somebody could go in and be like, "Oh, that leak in the ceiling, we're just gonna patch that up with some AI before we submit it to the home warranty." So it's so exciting and so many opportunities, but I also say that with like, you got to be
Yeah. Oh yeah.
cautious because people can create anything nowadays on the internet.
Absolutely. Oh,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah.
so that's what I would do. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're good."
But I'll tell you, then even some of the tech that's already out there. I mean, there's certain types of moisture sensors or guns and stuff like that that they use in the restoration world. We use that too, to know that there's a leak behind walls. There are things to really kind of see behind walls. Obviously, that's added
So
on service,
cool.
and that's really next level inspection. But yeah, it's when you hear the flip side of how things can go bad, especially water. Water's the worst thing for houses. People have no idea. Water's the worst thing for everything, really. But water is will find its way, and leaks can be so hidden and so there for so long. I've literally seen it in person. So I'm sure there's videos now, but when I seen it in person, there was no internet. But literally a leak from I'm pretty sure it's from the flashing around the chimney. It happened so long in this person's house that the side it basically just brittled and wore out enough, and there was enough of the weight from the siding and everything of the house. The whole side of the house fell off the house, like literally, the whole framing of one side of the house fell off the house. It was gone, because of water. So yeah, it's pretty wild what things can happen, and that's the other thing too. Being my advantage, really stepping into this space, is I was on the other side. So I, for over 20 years, sold home products, windows, siding, doors, attic insulation, roofing, water restoration, waterproofing. And so I've seen what can happen, and what's the if things aren't taken care of or noticed right away.
Right.
And that's a huge benefit to having somebody who can really catch those problems before they get too big, because then you're dealing with a nightmare. But the other thing is, homeowners. Like I said, most homeowners only buy one home in their life. The average homeowner only purchases one home. But what I also seen is, and what usually happens, because most of the time when somebody's selling a house, they kind of fix and do a lot of the major fixes. So it's usually like the second owner or another owner who might have to deal with those. And sometimes homeowners never buy a furnace or the major, HVAC stuff,
Right.
never buy windows, never buy roofing. So they don't even know where to start, what that
Wow.
looks like, or how much it's going to cost. And so when you find out, you're thinking, because you heard somebody needed a roof uh, 15, 20 years ago, and they tell you it was 5 grand. And then you go to get a roof now and it's 15 or 20. You're like, hold on, what? And then you can't afford it. You're shocked, and all of those things. And so, just really the education side is huge, and really being able to connect homeowners to. And again, that's where I think our big differentiator in me being involved in what I'd like to see us do is take that information, take those customers that we're taking care of, and not only give them a home inspection, but really kind of nurture them and be their check engine light, like I said.
Yeah.
Be there to really continuously. So I'm working with Bob, but working on putting together almost like another option to a maintenance program where they can So not only get that initial home inspection with us, but we can come out either every 6 months or once a year to do another, just not full inspection, but really, and then partnering with our other, contractors, preferred vendors, have them come out and do their specific um,
That's
inspections.
incredible, especially if you see something that's, kind of maybe like, a warning sign. It's not necessarily a full blown
Exactly.
disaster, but it's a warning sign. And I mean, for homeowners,
Yeah.
especially, younger homeowners nowadays that are just forking over their entire paycheck to pay for a mortgage, and try and buy groceries every week, to be able to have some sort of, hey, look, this is going to be a problem in 6 months to a year from now, so wherever you can save 10 grand to be able to pay for this, I mean, it's such a huge bonus to be able to offer that to customers from Inspection Boys, for that, I mean, that peace of mind too, right? I mean, this person
Yeah.
had no idea, and then the whole side of their house, fell
Oh,
off.
it's I've seen the craziest things. It's yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, just the ceilings just falling in from the, to or even too many shingles, and most people don't realize. I mean, and there's codes for this, but when unfortunately certain states contractors in Ohio, I mean the state I'm originally from and where I'm at right now, there's no, you pay $75 or maybe it's 100 now, but you pay just $100 and you're a licensed contractor. That's kind of scary.
Well, and
Because
then,
then anybody in a truck, truck in a truck is a contractor then, and so they're doing this work, and they're not really following codes. They're not really doing they're leaving the customer kind of naked to what the problems could be, and that's what again, I've seen roof that have had 3-4 layers. That's people don't realize how much weight that is and how dangerous that is. I mean, it could all collapse. So that's how crazy it is. But it's just people take for granted what their house is,
right.
and and kind of the dangers of certain things and letting
Yeah.
certain things go. I've seen that a lot too. But yeah, that's home inspection is so crucial, and really, again, that the client today is that young. Um, they're busy. They don't have the time to even work or undo these things or work on these things, or really the understanding. A lot of people don't want to mess with this stuff, so they just want to know that there's somebody trusted that not only one inspected their house, but then they can refer to those contractors if and when the time's needed.
That's amazing. That is, I mean, again, that's just so much trust building within your community, and such a bigger service. I do want to ask one more question. I know we're coming up to time,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you always describe yourself, and I know this from knowing you personally as well, but a faith-driven builder. So how does your faith inform your leadership style, now that you've taken this role on at Inspection Boys?
Thank you for the question. So it's obviously I don't try to push that, and but I am very obviously vocal about it online and on my content. But really, it's really just taking that leadership mentality that Jesus had, where he was the leader and everybody had that respect to him, but he didn't act like a leader. He wasn't dominating to them. They just had that respect, and so it's leading from the front. It's really doing. That's why I'm here in Ohio right now, taking my franchisee out to network, and really just I love to network. It's kind of my space, my world, and again, I think that's kind of to that faith side as well. Leading with, and people just noticing the little subtle things. I mean, I had a shout out to Joe Rushing, but he noticed my Powered by Faith band at convention, and so he said, "I want to do work with you guys just because of that." And I was like, "Thank you for even noticing that." But I think So I've been in sales for over 25 years, and I've unfortunately, I feel like my faith has been battered, tested, and beaten through this journey, especially younger. You know, I was chasing the titles, the money, the status,
Mm.
the things, and I've done pretty well. And I've seen the dirty side. And usually, unfortunately, uh, and guys out there, please, anybody who's struggling in sales, read the book "Sell Without Selling Out" by Andy Paul. It would change your life. I wish I would have found it 25 years ago. But I was selling out. I sold out completely. I've seen a lot of the worst salespeople do a lot of the worst things you can think of, from selling things they shouldn't to selling things for more than they should, to taking advantage of people. Because sales in the end really is a transfer of feeling and emotion and a lot of things. And people don't realize, but it's a very emotional, very. I heard Robert Hirschbeck from Shark Tank say this. He said, "Good salespeople sell features and benefits. Great salespeople sell the outcome. Amazing salespeople sell feelings."
Mm.
I can sell feeling,
Right.
and that's what I've noticed was my skill right away. But it's dangerous because it's a very fine line of influencing somebody to make the right decision for them, or persuading them to make the right decision for you.
Oh,
And And so that literally, when I realized that, I'm like, okay, first I hate myself. So I got to the point of hating myself. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't be like this. This is terrible. But and that's the book "Sell Without Selling Out." But really, it was a mixture of that, along with, honestly, John Hewitt. I mean, I'm going to give props to him. This is the craziest thing, but I mean, I was born and raised Catholic. Uh, Confirmed, all the thing. I went to church more than probably anybody, because we went to church in school. We had to go to church not in school as an altar boy. Everything you could think of, I did. I even went to a private Franciscan college, but never connected to the Word, never connected to Jesus' story, never connected really to Jesus until John Hewitt, which is
wow.
wild. But I heard him say on a podcast, and then I actually heard him say in person. It was so funny. I don't know if I've ever shared this story on a podcast, or to anybody besides like family and stuff, but heard him say on a podcast Jesus was his mentor. And I struggled with what I think a lot of people struggle with, finding that human mentor. And I
False
was
idols.
really good on finding that human mentor, but then they let me down. And I think John noticed that. And so he had made a few comments to me that really got me thinking. Um, but then hearing him say Jesus was his mentor, I'm like, why, why am I going? Why am I like John is my mentor at this time, and he's telling me Jesus? Well, then Jesus is my mentor too.
Yeah.
And so it was really just that all in kind of moment there. But then again, heard him say it when I was first interviewing and going through the process with John. I was down in Columbus with Craig, from Action Coach. Shout out Craig. But and he's on the spot. And by this time now, I know John and have been with John for a little bit. I know business world. Peter Drucker is his business mentor, and like huge. And so he's on the spot, and Craig hits him with, "Who's your business mentor?" And he said business. So I'm thinking, is he gonna say Peter Drucker? Or is he gonna say Jesus? He said Jesus again. And I'm like, hold on, you gotta be kidding me. This guy now he said it twice. Like, so that was really what pushed me all into just unapologetically
Yeah. Well,
be
I mean,
Jesus
it's
first. But
provided you clarity in what you're doing and your sales mindset, which I think is super powerful. So I appreciate you sharing that.
yeah, thank you for asking that. Yeah, it's a big thing. And again, I wouldn't push it on anybody, but if anybody is struggling with that, or just feeling like you're dealing with something, Jesus is the best friend you can have. I promise.
Number
He's
one
gonna help you through a
mentor.
lot of things. So yes,
Number one
he's your
mentor.
number one mentor for sure. But yeah, that was awesome.
Love that.
Oh, this is fun.
Anything else to share? Inspection Boys is taking over, opening new locations this month. So anything else to share, and how can people find out about Inspection Boys to bring one to their
Yeah.
area?
Absolutely. So check us. So obviously go to inspectionboysfranchising.com. where you can sign up to obviously have a talk with me or our franchise development team. But and check us out. So Matt and Bridget, prior to me taking over, was very big on social. So they have a lot of amazing content on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and I've kind of taken over that. So be sure to obviously look for our stuff there and be ready to see it in your neighborhood. And if you want a trusted home inspector, you want somebody you can really refer the inspection boys. You won't be disappointed. I promise. Just look at our reviews. We're gonna have those everywhere.
Shout out Inspection Boys, best reviews. I was like, what? That's incredible.
No, that's what sold me on it. Again, at first I'm like, do I want this role? And I look up the inspection auditors. I'm like, yes, this is like somebody's handing me the greatest setup and business and brand and process you can. I mean, and again, it's a testament to them. Go to New York, you're going to hear it. Again, shout out to Pete's killing it over there, and he's one of our top franchisees out there in Manhattan. But he's a testament to it. The Inspection Boys is very well known in New York, and we're taking over the U.S. So be ready, y'all.
Love to hear it. Congrats again, DJ. And we'll be back next Tuesday.
Yes, next Tuesday with so guys, mark your calendar. One of our preferred vendors, partners for all of our Inspection Boys locations, CR3. We're gonna have Carney from CR3 on next week to inspect and improve CR3. So Carney has some amazing things. Again, talking about next level, talking about really taking an industry and a market by storm. CR3 is doing that, and their revolution. Carney blew me away at convention. I'm not going to steal too much of his thunder, so I won't share too much here. But guys, what he's planning to do in the exterior home service space is going to shake up all you old timers really still fighting tech. You better welcome it. You better welcome it. Otherwise, it's going to be rough. But yeah, I can't wait to have Tony on. And this was awesome. Thank you, Julie.
Thanks, DJ. Inspected and approved. Inspection Boys. Have a great week, everyone.
Love it.